Hey, good Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us for a look at God's Word. This is an exciting week for any student of Bible prophecy, but we've certainly got to be careful not to overcommit and think that we've discerned exactly what God is doing in the world, because God sees a bigger picture than October of 2025, and the current events going on. They were certainly foreseen by God, but we've got to be careful that we don't just insert ourselves right into the biblical narrative. But I am fascinated with the nation of Israel. I don't think there's another nation on earth that can trace its lineage, its history back all the way. The call of Abraham occurred probably just after 2100 BC. 2091 is a date that I came across. And so you're seeing a nation that can trace itself back over 4,000 years. And no other nation can do that. Egypt can't do that. None of the surrounding Arab nations can do that. Certainly here in the Western Hemisphere, we can't do that. We think 200 years is a long, long time. But Israel traces their lineage back that far. We find their history recorded in the scriptures. We can see the revival of Israeli history through since World War II, the establishment of the nation, 1948. But we find a synopsis or a snapshot or just a piece of Israel's history in Daniel chapter 9, when Daniel is writing his prophecy in verse 25, and he says, "Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, 69 weeks." Clearly, Daniel is talking about weeks of years. 69 times 7, 483 years. And we can just about break that down to the day. In fact, many have broken it down to the day, to a date in April of 32 AD, in the death of Christ, from the command from the Medo-Persian Empire to go back and restore Jerusalem. That command given to Ezra, to Nehemiah. Ezra reestablishing the temple, Nehemiah reestablishing the wall. So powerful, powerful imagery here, fulfilled directly to the day. But Daniel draws a clear lineage and distinction in this 70 weeks of years. I'm not sure if I had the timeline right, 483 years, between the 70 weeks of years, 69 of them together and then one separate. And of course, Daniel calls this the time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah has his own reference to this in Jeremiah chapter 30, but we find this parentheses. Luke refers to it in his historical writing of the life of Christ as the times of the Gentiles. Israel, following the death of Christ, very, very quiet history, certainly done great things in world history and for human history, but as a nation, very much being set aside. The times of the Gentiles, the birth and the duration of the church age. And so a lot of things in Bible prophecy are open-ended, are open for discussion. Not to be completely dogmatic, and not to say that any of the events that happened in Jerusalem yesterday have anything to do with biblical prophecy, but it certainly seems interesting. It certainly piques our attention. We can be confident of this, that God is going to care for Israel. God is going to care for his church, and that Jesus is one day going to rule a kingdom. We can certainly see all that in biblical prophecy. But very, very exciting to unfold these things. Maybe another day this week we'll check out another reference and talk about it some more. But I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great Tuesday for his glory. Miss Susie Lewis has come home from the hospital. Continue to pray for Miss Gwen Ennis. Pray for Mr. Eddie Darnell, who's at home under hospice care. And Miss Marie Reich is having surgery today. I was able to have prayer with her in preparation for that. And looking forward to God's faithfulness in many of these healings and his provision and care in many of these terminal cases. And just trust that God will give you a great Tuesday for his glory. Take care.